So let's get into potting. Just like basic things, so we don't do this too long. Um, there's different types of pots out there, and choosing the right one. I mean, they're all good. I always like to use things with a hole in the bottom, so excess water can go down, but that's not a limitation. You just control the amount of water that you put down if you don't have a hole. Um, Now I'm using a glaze pot. This is ceramic, so that means that the water on the plant is actually just staying there. In the other hand, clay or terracotta elements uh, are very porous, and they will be taking water out of the plant. So at some point, these guys will be competing with the roots on who is taking the water, because this takes a lot of the water. And that's why you always see like a film of calcium or like a white dust on the pot. So keep an eye on the plants that you're using. For example, I wouldn't do these together, because this needs a lot of water. This will be taking the water, so you'll have to be watering all the time. I would do that instead. Really good. And then, of course, there's the plastic. Plastic, it's good or bad, whatever. But plastic is really affordable, and it's always good. Sometimes they don't look really well, but you can always just drop them in a basket, and then you never are able to see that. And then you put that there, and that's beautiful, you know, for like a counter or even the floor. Baskets are really trendy nowadays, and we have a big selection of them, all colors and shapes and sizes. They're really fun. So think about plastic and how you can always, if you dislike seeing it, you can always hide it. So again, you have a pot that you just recently got. This is a Monstera deliciosa. Love these plants. And they usually, whatever medium they come, you can always investigate how the roots are looking, healthy or not. These look really good. And depending on the plant, you don't want to oversize or undersize the pot. So I will be taking that medium that we talked, and I'll be filling it just enough to the point that you can always go and check to the plant. We talk about how understanding how plants will grow in nature out there. So we know that Monstera is a very tropical plant, grows understories, like under the trees, and it likes to climb over the trees. So bark, it's a really good thing. And but I mean, at the same time, we live in Minnesota and things are different inside of our houses. Our days are different, but we want to make them feel like as at home as possible. So we put all of the good medium there, and then always press down the roots so the plant is not like loose, you know, like the roots really want to be holding to something. So that's perfect there. I always tend to overcrowd pots, but this is really good. You can put some decoration on the, like whenever you're watering, you are not putting a lot of, like removing all the soil away from these, and that should be good. Then you water, always water, kind of like if you have a drainage hole a lot, so then the plant, the whole substrate gets saturated. And Monstera is a plant that doesn't really mind having cycles of being wet and dry, because that's how tropicals are, you know, like big storms and big rain season, and then it dries out for a little bit. So it's a pretty easy plant to grow. I hope I'm not being too long. Yeah, so we are 27 minutes. Hopefully you guys have some questions, or maybe not. So maybe I will ask that you can unmute yourself if you have any questions, and we can always take turns if you